I'm going to show you how I make Mike's salsa. Nobody knows this, but me, I never told anybody how I did all of it and what goes into it. It does vary, depends on what time of the season it is. The peppers ripen at different times and changes the flavor, and so I have to add other ingredients to make it taste good in the way I expect it. What I'm making is Mexican restaurant salsa. It's a fresh salsa. It's not cooked at all. It's fresh. If you ever go to a Mexican restaurant, their salsa is kind of watery. This is a watery salsa. It's fall, so our tomatoes are a little bit less flavorful, more water, and so at this point I do add a few extra things into it to boost the tomato flavor. But we start with tomatoes, and this is what I've got. So I adjust everything else to how many tomatoes I have. Sometimes I do big batches. I do small. This is kind of a small to mediums. So we do whatever we can buy fresh or that's come out of our garden. Usually bells. I did some prep ahead. I do 2 bell peppers. I'll do a poblano if I have one. I'm doing 2 different types of yellow onion and a red onion. Depends on what's in the garden. I'm using Thai peppers or bird's eye peppers for heat. I usually do more cayenne. Early in the year we had a lot of cayenne. Now, Martin. So I only have 1 cayenne, but the bird's eye should make up for that. Serrano's out of the garden. Habaneros out of the garden. A couple of the jalapenos that are out of the garden. And garlic. Garlic is almost like a forward taste to the salsa. Kelly's sticking her tongue out because she doesn't like that much garlic, but it sets it off. It really does. I start with this, believe it or not, and here's a little trick. At this time of year, like I say, this stuff is kind of runny. I use 1 can of tomato paste, and I use a can opener to open both sides, and it comes out that easy. Done. Usually the first thing that I start with the processor is I do my peppers first, and the garlic, because I want that minced as fine as it can be.
Seeds?
Seeds in most of this, you'll see.
So just a rough chop?
Cuts. The habaneros, I'm going to take 2 of them. I'm going to take the seeds out.
Would it be wise to be wearing gloves when you're handling those? Or?
Some people. Me, I don't mind it. I like to feel the heat on my fingers.
Except at night when you touch your eyes and
Yes, when you rub your eyes. Yeah. This one is extra hot one. If you open it up and look inside, sometimes you'll see some black stuff into the seeds and stuff. I cut that out, but I mean you can smell the heat from right here. That's a nice clean one. That's going in the way it's going in. So I'm going to leave back. A couple peppers because I want to taste to see how hot it is at this point. Okay, so I've got all my peppers in other than 2 I got through this one too, but you want the cayenne, that's just a different taste. I'm going to leave a couple out to see how hot it is. Garlic goes in with that because we're gonna grind it down to mince, so you don't get a chunk of hot pepper. You just get the heat. You don't get a chunk of.
as soon as you open the cover.
You could knock right on your butt. Oh.
The whole kitchen smells like that.
Okay.
So you're adding that in with
That is strong. Believe me, it works though.
Sure, it's
Good
pretty.
stuff. Yeah,
all
it
those
is
different
pretty.
colors.
It is. Okay. Now, we want to cover that up with the tomatoes. We do that next. Otherwise, we'll be just sitting here sneezing. I already did the prep on the tomatoes. I took the stem off. And I will cut these in beautiful tomatoes, aren't they?
If they're juicy, do you still just use all the juice and everything?
Oh God, yeah. Okay. Look at those tomatoes. Aren't that pretty? Look at that. Just so meaty.
Is that a
That's a big
big
boy.
boy?
Big boy.
Oh my gosh, I can smell those peppers.
Yeah. You shouldn't be hovering about it. Okay.
So a few at a time?
You fill it up to a point. It's not going to get a lot. You're going to have to do this. Also, you want some chunk, but not big chunk.
It's like a smoothie.
Now there's always a few pieces that don't chop up, so this is what I do. As I pour it in, I watch it, and then as the chunks come, I will catch the big chunks.
Good tip.
Okay, those will go back in. And now all the hot spicy peppers are covered with the tomato sauce, so now I'm not smelling that burn. Okay, so now I got some chunks in there. I'll just continue to add.
Sorry, people. I think I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, someone's chewing my socks. Oh, look. What do you have? Huh? Oh, did you take my socks? Huh? You silly dog. Yeah, I think I'll have to cut that part out.
Continue to do the same thing. Dump and watch. Add dog. There goes the chunk. Ooh. Keeps rotating itself back in. I do that so it doesn't totally crud it over. These are beautiful tomatoes. It's going to be actually halfway decent size batch here.
The tomatoes go by themselves, huh? There's still some peppers left in there.
Some big ones there yet. So. Still smelling the peppers? Mm-hmm. If you look in there, you can see still there's some chunks. Just so it'll give you some texture, but not too much.
The frothy stuff always freaks me out.
That I know it does go back down to nothing. Well, the air comes out of it, and then it looks red again. Okay.
To mixing in all the peppers.
And the tomato paste.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Okay. Now we'll I'll show you how to cut the bell up real easy. We're going to do the non-hot peppers. And this is what I do. I get rid of the viney stuff that's in there. Strip on the side. These will have a tendency to get stuck in the blender. You have to maybe do this a couple times too. I did this one ahead of time. Do the poblano. Poblano's gonna have seeds. There's a double poblano on the inside.
Huh.
Look at that.
Wow, that's cool. Let me show it again. Are they always like that, Mike?
No, get the seeds out.
It's kind of like the top just turned in.
Yeah. See, now there at the end is a little funk, so that's getting thrown away.
No funk.
No funk in this junk. Okay. These don't chop up very well there.
Now, did you want to go all the way with those, or is
Nope,
it more
you
just
want them chunky?
Chunky. Okay.
And same thing, you're going to have some that are
Oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna say what that looks like.
guacamole.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, I'm going to hit it one more time. Yeah, you don't want them blended. You don't want those blended smooth like a smoothie. You want chunks, you want the green flecks in there. To make it look. See, that's beautiful. Especially when you throw a poblano in there, you got that dark green in there. It looks like Christmas salsa.
I'm gonna have to get the cilantro out too.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, onions. Onions, once again, I cut those up ahead just to make it faster. And these are going to be the same thing you want it. You want it to have pieces, not smooth, like a smoothie. Yeah, I forgot to get the cilantro. So you're going to do the exact same thing. There's going to be chunks. Guess I'm going to use my spatula here to I think it's a lot of onion, but it's a lot of salsa. Okay. Yeah, this salsa is garlic and onion forward, I would say. That's a good way of putting it. This is some awesome flavor.
Which is why Kelly's stomach can't handle it
Yep,
anymore.
anymore. Right now, this stuff would just taste awesome by itself. Okay, one lime.
What does that do to it?
Acidy. Makes it taste like Mexican salsa.
Does it kind of
from
cut the
restaurant.
acid from the tomatoes a little
No,
bit?
it doesn't
or-
cut it. No,
Okay.
it just
Balance it?
lime is sweeter than lemon, and it does add a little sweetness to it. Instead of adding cumin,
Is that the new one? Yeah.
you could put the
Oops, missed it.
Okay, cilantro. Lots of cilantro. Once again, that tastes just like, to me, it tastes just like having an extra lime in it, really. It's got the same flavors. Rough chop, you don't want too much you want to see actually the leaves in. If you go to Mexican restaurants, you can see the cilantro in it.
Now, cilantro is one of those polarizing,
People like it, people hate it.
yeah. So if you have friends that, hate it, it takes them out before this point.
Yeah,
Me, I can't get enough of that.
that's right. Isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm.
Almost tasting time. I'm gonna throw the salt in, which I have no judge of how much salt should go in this because I don't like salt, and I can't really ever tell if it's enough or too little. But I do put some in.
And it kind of depends too if you use salted or unsalted chips.
I can live without salt the rest of my life.
Not me.
I don't need salt. Okay, now we're gonna taste it for heat, and then see if we have to add anything else to it because of, once again, it's that time of year where the tomatoes are a little.
Any certain kind of chips you recommend? Or?
No.
Well, what do you think? More peppers or no?
I gotta wait a second to see with the heat.
Yeah,
Yes.
if it builds.
There's not heat right away, but now it's coming.
He always says it's not hot, and then I try it, and I'm like, ah.
There's a little acidity, so I'm gonna add some agave.
A good solid squirt.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna add some heat from Chili 9000, which is a chili powder Penzies. And I'm gonna add just a pinch of that. Don't need a lot of it, just to add a little bit more pepper taste to it. Yes, I can't taste the garlic. I think I'd have enough garlic in there, but it is a big batch of salsa. You can always add, do whatever you want to it at this point.
What do you think?
That's really good.
Let me try.
Tell me if it's hot or not. Otherwise, I'm going to add those other peppers because I don't taste the heat.
It's hot in the back of your throat.
Okay. So we're adding the habanero and an extra jalapeno.
It's good though.
It's really good.
Yeah, now it's getting hot
Yeah.
on my tongue. So
Oh.
it's gonna be pretty hot.
It's gonna be
Even my
just right
gums
now.
are hot.
Okay.
Whoa. So now, what do you do with this salsa once it's
Well,
done?
it's because it's not cooked. Technically, you just got to eat it. But I will keep some out. I usually give some to friends, and I will freeze some, and I can freeze it in vacuum seal bags. So what I do is I put it in a bread bag, and then put it in the freezer, freeze it for an hour or two, then put it in my vacuum sealer, vacuum seal it, and it'll last until the next, into summer next year, and I've never had a problem with it. Always tastes just as fresh.
And you try to put it in like serving sizes, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So, That's killer. Okay, so that's it. That's Mike's Salsa.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. We'll see where else this goes, but see how stupid I look on camera. Thank you.